me better? Can you hear me any better? Anybody? Can you hear me any better? Can someone confirm if you can hear me any better? Okay, so I think you can hear me now, right? Okay, so thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. I know you could be doing other things with your data bundles, but you decided to spend them on me. So thank you. Where do I begin? What an eventful week, right? I mean, you can imagine your life, but now imagine mine. So think of how eventful your life was when only you and your friends were talking about you, and then now think about my life when people who don't like me were the ones who were talking about me most. So I get appointed on Friday to chair the communications task force for the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development. Level with me for a second. I get appointed. I'm in a conversation with the minister. I'm just kind of getting to meet this guy. So I don't even really know the guy, but I'm kind of starting to get to know him. I'm doing my personality profile to try and figure out what type of guy is this. Now, if anybody has not yet met Minister Acie Lumumba, he is like a typical high school geek, right? Like, I mean, the guy is lanky, skinny, tall, wears, like, he went out of his way to buy geeky glasses, so he desires to look like a geek. He already is, but he really desires to look like one. And look at this guy. Remember, like, government is full of politicians, right? Who are normally fat, ugly, matumba baruka, ganda rambwa ne sipo, rambwa ne jese, akana batsito anuramba paganda. So I'm seeing this guy and I'm like, okay, this is different. Then the guy opens his mouth. Now, he's just fired me, but I want you to understand this. I have not met a smarter human being on earth. Acie Lumumba is like that guy who, if you had kids, they would bring all the kids to the house and say, ask my dad anything because he's got the answer to everything. The guy is really, really smart, impressively smart. So he's a pleasure to be around because he's impressively smart. But this is like day one at work. So we're talking about all the plans we're going to do. Now, here is what I hear. I want to help you understand where the problem between me and the minister started. Here is what happens. So the minister says to me, Acie, we're going to do a lot of work together. We're going to do fantastic things. These are the plans I have for the country, the plans I have for solving the economic problem. And I say to him, sorry, Minister, can I ask a question? What exactly is the problem? And he says to me, well, when I came and I met patients in Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe, you know, like, we must feel some type of sympathy for Acie Lumumba. Understand, this guy is coming from the first world, and he comes and is with us. And you know, Tino Penga, you guys know this, right? Like, you and me, we're not normal. We're not normal. So Acie Lumumba walks into this, a whole bunch of people who are not normal. Now, Acie Lumumba realizes that he definitely has problems, at least make mu bedroom, mu Ministry of Finance, neku RBZ. Now, because he's a symmetrical thinker, he's thinking, okay, if we do this, and then 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 we do Kanjiva. That's what he's thinking. Acie Lumumba is thinking about doing Kanjiva, trying to fix the economy. Because he doesn't want, you know, there's method to his thinking. Now, I look at this situation and I say, Minister, hold up. You want to do Kanjiva with these people? So in my head, I'm thinking, Minister, you don't really know, okay? Like, you don't really know these people. Like, they're not mukona kuwanda for every person wedzera vanhu 9 munhu 1 vanhu 9 vari kufamba pamwe chete in one human being, because munhu wega wega ane nhamo dzevanhu 9. Like civil servants in Zimbabwe, like they see a lot, hey, and they've gone through a lot. Our country has taken them through a lot. So I'm like, minister, me 9. So he's thinking about having conversation with them. Then I say, okay, let me go and do my own homework. So I go around, I start talking to people, and because I'm in business, I've chaired the National Business Council for over 3 years. I know a thing or two about how the streets of business work. One of my closest friends is one of the committee chairs at the CZI, and another one at the ZNCC. So I'm having a conversation with my guys. I'm like, yo, help me understand something. What is wrong with Zimbabwe? So everything starts coming down to the central bank. Shamari, ukaenda ku central bank, chinu chamangudya chakasviba. You hear me? Chinu chamangudya chakasviba. Kwakazara mbavha, dzimwe dzinodai. So I started building up a file on everything happening at the central bank. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, these are not just thieves. Like, ndiana mbuya vempava, ndiana sekuru vempava, ndiana chamampizo vempava. Like, I used to think politicians are thieves, but no. Like, these madara zvinenge zvitonge zvima decent kruku. Iwe mari inevanhuava. Ndo vanofana kutonzi mabhanga acho ndo mabhenga emuZimbabwe. Mabhenga ese hana mari. Mari yange iri kuReserve Bank. So I realized that I can, and I'm thinking I can help the minister. I'm like, let me help the minister, right? Let me do what I do. So I come and I'm speaking to you. I specifically mentioned I am speaking in my personal capacity. Then Facebook, and we spoke. Now, let me tell you why I'm telling you the story. I'm telling you the story to say I understood something about the way you think. Forget what was happening at RBZ. We all know kuti varume vakuru vakamuka makuseni vakakisa vakadzi vavo madama vakasangana nemasmall house pakati palanchi vakadya lunch inodhura come 4 o'clock kwakasvika tsamba inotaura kuti parakatumba yanguva yekuenda kumba. But here's what I learned about you. I learned that when Zimbabweans decide that they dislike someone, you become so vile. We become so vile. My God, when you all decided I shouldn't have gotten the appointment, you were so vile. Like my Lumumba, Lumumba does not deserve an appointment. He doesn't deserve an appointment because because Lumumba akambobvisa brugwa. Imagine Lumumba akambobvisa brugwa. Are you kidding me? What? What do you mean Lumumba akambobvisa brugwa? Rakaubvise. Ukaona, in fact, ukaona usingatoribvise, ukaona usingabvise. Une era. Uzvizwa? Une era. So, all this hate towards me, eventually it goes to the side. And it's like a football. And I realize life in politics or in public office is like a game of football. Everybody hates you until you score. So here I am. I finally hit ndakanatori ndabana tibula boys repa Reserve Bank madare pa Reserve Bank anashabidada. And then all of a sudden, all of you had my back. I had so many people having my back saying, Acie, you're so right. Business is difficult in Zimbabwe because the RBZ is making it impossible. Do you know that while we try to attract foreign investors, we are on this great hype. Let's bring foreign investors into Zimbabwe. The reality is there are investors here in Zimbabwe who need to be taken through a clinic almost to renew their minds and renew their appetite and let them know we still want their investment here in Zimbabwe. There are investors here who we are ignoring. But guess why we are ignoring them? Because they are all stuck at the RBZ. Now, understand, the 4 directors that were fired are not enough. That I am going to tell you things that are happening at RBZ that will make you go to sleep tonight with anger inside your soul. Hear me out. At the RBZ, you've got people, when you wake up and you go to work, whether you go on and you go to farm, or you go ngoda, or you go unotengesa zvaunazo vane zvakasiyana siyana. Umwe unotengesa masini ake, umwe anotengesa masini evamwe, umwe anotengesa masini in general. But you go and you trade. When you make that money, you must bank it somewhere. You bank it in this place called your bank. Your bank eventually takes it to Reserve Bank. That's why I told you about Queen Bee, because Queen Bee influences the Reserve Bank. And I'm going to tell you also today how we get rid of Queen Bee. I'll tell you that. So the Reserve Bank has all of your resources, and the men we put in charge to be responsible for the Reserve Bank are nothing but thieves. Everybody said, oh, but why do you say John Mangujga is not a thief? Because number one, John Mangujga inherited an institution that Gideon Gono had created. Avadzidzisa mskanzwa wakamboita kunyenga kana muskana girlfriend woridzidzisa amarula wozoda kumubudisa mu amarula mwana wa mama oda kumisa muskadi nekuti amarula pasisina pa shelf yakudhura anokutuka anokuwanzira anokunjapisira because wada kumudzidzisa unhu usiri hwake. So John Mangujga walks into the Reserve Bank, arikusangana munhu apinda mubar, and the bar is full of women who only like the most toxic, the most alcoholic, the most ndife type of alcohol. This is what the guy walks into. So I'm still investigating. I will tell you if John Mangujga, look, I will be the first one to tell you. I know you don't like him, so it will be an easy one for you to accept. I'll tell you if he's corrupt. But my God, the directors there. So here's what they do with your money when your money goes there. There is a company called Tuli Coal. Anybody who wants to look this up, you can look it up. There is a company called Tuli Coal, okay? It's a coal mining company that the Reserve Bank decided to go and take over and become an invested partner in. When Reserve Bank took over this company, the directors of Reserve Bank began to sit on that board, began to steal on that board, began to eat on that board. Kushika company yafa. Everything the Reserve Bank has touched, they have destroyed. Everything they have touched, they have destroyed. Then I started to learn there is patterns that go on in the Reserve Bank. When you drive into the Reserve Bank, every car is supposed to get checked or it's supposed to get cleared because there are safes in safe vaults inside the Reserve Bank. But when you go inside the Reserve Bank, you realize that all of the directors at the Reserve Bank, all of their PAs, all of their girlfriends, all of their... You know, that one who's not a girlfriend and she's not your wife, but you don't really have a title. All of that one. They say, apana vetting anymore. They just go in and they just go out. I'm telling you this to say, when you are investigating the directors, when you start investigating them, go to their houses, you will find there is RBZ property that they have taken out and they've taken to their houses. Imbava, varume vavaya imbava, varikuba hupfumi, wevana, ve Zimbabwe. Zimbabweans are taking their resources or their gold or their money to the bank, and the bank is stealing it. Thieves. Now, one of the only people who can save the RBZ, whether you like it or not, is actually John Mangujga. Anybody who's ever met John Mangujga, he's not the most charming human being. Like John Agapupika, like Msoro Anga, like, you know, but very sharp. He's very, very sharp. And you sit with him, he's very quick to get to solutions. He's very accommodating. He wants to figure out how he can help everybody. Sometimes I don't even want the Santa Claus. So but he's very helpful. He gave me, you know, one of my first shots in business. So I'm biased towards the guy. I like the guy. So he understands the rot that is in that institution, and he can help to get rid of it. Now, remember, I've just told you about the call that Yavagaroa big Marese Kapera. Move from there, they are also invested in diamonds. Move from there, they're also invested in gold. We actually have to carry a full-on thorough audit of the Reserve Bank. The Minister of Finance is trying to figure out how do I close loopholes. He's trying to figure out how do I raise more money for more money to come into the country. The Minister of Finance actually doesn't realize that the majority of the money he needs to block is the money that is going into the Reserve Bank. Let me give you a scenario. The Reserve Bank is like Tombotin Reserve Bank do. Reserve Bank do. What you want to do is you want to close the door. Okay? When you close the door, sara mukati chuya itisechane makumbo. Wangambobirwa phone kana papati. Wangambobirwa phone papati. Wabirwa phone papati womusa munhu wese. Are you following me? Okay? Follow. I know it's a bit litigious. Follow me. I'm going to land. I promise I'm going to land. Now, once you've done that, when the governor fired all the directors. He still has to fire more. We'll go into those. What he did is he closed the door. Everybody was inside. Now businesses, the US dollar went down. The moment the governor did that, the US dollar went down. What's the sign we're supposed to learn, Zimbabwe? That when you fix up, money gets attracted. The US dollar went down. So this is the corruption in the Reserve Bank. But the Reserve Bank is now involved in corruption that's not just in the Reserve Bank. Do you know that there is Zimra? Do you know that there is Zinara? Do you know that there is Zesa? Do you know that all these parastatals, kaka wut ke ma program ekuba, ma program ekuba. Are you with me? Okay. So at which point does the minister decide he's going to fire me? So why does the minister fire me? I decide I'm going to go after these directors because they are stealing from our wealth. So I come in upon attack. And I called them out. When I called them out, the Reserve Bank realized, oh, defend the cage. These guys have to go. So they get fired, they go home, they get home. And the mukadzaru kuvundo, nai baba, madzoka kumba, why are you home so early? Daddy, why are you home so early? Imagine saying to your kids, I am back home early because imagine, because I was caught on Facebook that I'm looting from the country. I am a lootist, I'm a loot banker. Now, today, I then got a letter that says I should no longer come back to work. I can't come and help anymore. I didn't understand it because I said, but I've been helping. Why would you want me to not come back? I'm a good guy. Like, I mean, if you think I've stolen, I've never even, like, look at this. The varidzi vacho vakastodiene mari, vakatoenda kuchikoro kunodzidzira kuchengetedza mari, ndo vari kuba. You with me? Okay. So, here is what happened. Queen B got very busy when I started talking about Queen B. I told you there was Queen B who everybody was going and they were leeching out of and they were taking the money and they were feeding Queen B, feeding Queen B, feeding Queen B. So good Queen B anopuwa uchiwe munu wese kushikira iye Queen B ndiye anofana kunzi baba tapi. Queen B vanotapira. Anybody who's met Queen B, you know. I know some of you now know who Queen B is, but Queen B anotapira kani. Akatamba newe zvakanaka Queen B unosara uchitapira. But Queen B is a hindrance to business. Queen B is the reason the fuel sector cannot grow. Queen B is the reason that farmers are not able to get the best out of their harvest. Queen B is the reason there is no forex in the banks. Queen B is a problem, and I will tell you how Queen B is going to be destroyed. But Queen B now realized there is a kid called Lumumba who's coming after me. Woo! That then Queen B and the Queen B are right way yo. Guys, if I can tell you something, don't do it unless you can look after yourself. Huh? Don't do it. All of a sudden, I've got security people. Like, imagine, like I've got my own security I move with. And I've realized I've got security for my security. And I'm asking my guys, like, what type of madness is this? Where my security needs to get security to protect itself against Queen B. So I said, hey, oh my God. Here comes the gate crash of all of my problems. Everything starts going wrong in my life. I start getting calls from this person, from that person. Now, every government department is busy. Queen B has captured government. Our government is under capture. Listen to my words. Any government official asina kutenga mota yake ega akatengerwa na Queen B. Do you hear me? Any government official asina kutenga mota yake ega akatengerwa na Queen B. Queen B unotengera ma government official zunu. Ano bribe. Ano tenga vanu. Adayagona kugara na umba kwake vese aigara na umba kwake vachimuka makuseni vachiombera kuti daddy good morning or mami good morning Queen B. So you got government ministers panicking, literally panicking with, hey, Lumumba atuka Queen B, Lumumba atuka Queen B. So everybody is piling pressure on the minister to say fire Lumumba. But the minister is saying Lumumba didn't say this on behalf of the ministry. Lumumba said what he said on behalf of himself on his social platform. So everybody's going crazy. The pressure was incredible. Fanka squad directly ministry of amai muchangwa bari munamo. Amai muchangwa bari munamo ndati squad direct kwabo kuya rakanyora ma press statement rigonyora ma press statement ekuti tamudzinga basa tamuona akamira pa table tamudzinga ari un procedure. Why are you so scared kuvunduka chati kwetiri? Everybody's running scared. Now, I'm trying to think, Are they running scared because of what I know? Or are they running scared because of Queen B? But everybody's running scared. I mean, my father called me, told me that he got a phone call. Everybody's running scared. If I'm lying, the boys, you know yourselves, the boys from Ministry of Information, the ones who are trying to give your minister a problem, the boys, you know yourselves, the boys, you know you took money. One of you took 35,000. The other one, I'm not sure how much it was, but you know you took money from Queen B to come and shut me down, to tell the world that Lumumba had been fired. So you can imagine, I'm like, have I been fired? So I called the minister and I said, my minister, did you fire me? The minister says, Lumumba, we haven't even operationalized. Hang on, we have to do work. It's a weekend. No, I don't get it. I just didn't get why everybody was so scared of Queen B. Even my security, Queen B. Now, this happens and I don't get fired. But you hear Herald. First of all, if you read the Herald, it's at your own peril. Okay? I don't read the Herald, it's at your own peril. Herald announces, right here then, Lumumba sent packing. I'm like, what? What? Me? I even wake up in the morning, I go to the office, I'm like, my contract says 3 days, let me go to the office. I'm chilling in the office, ndirimo office, and office yangu, remember, vanwanoziamu kupe, munomziamu kupe, terim kupe, terim kupe anorwadzi waneni, because office yake, yangeri office yake deputy minister, yange yapu Lumumba mzara, dainzwa msodzi. But that's all we namanje terens because ndadzingwa basa. So I get this, I'm in the office, I'm asking everybody, are we okay? Everybody says we're okay. I'm checking with all my stakeholders, are we okay? Everybody says we are okay. All of a sudden, Queen B vatuma vajoina Queen B vasangana nenhunzi zasangana nenyuchi kutsvaga kuti tomudzingisa sei basa Lumumba. I find myself on social media, I get a letter that says we've cancelled the contract, good night, asante sana. And I start trying to say, how did this happen? How? What did I do wrong? Ndakatadza here kutaura kuti kune corruption. Mandidzingire basa ndakatadza here kutaura kuti kune corruption. Now, I know the minister didn't do it because he doesn't like me. Because the minister actually likes me. I'm not telling you a lie. I know a lot of you guys are not going to believe what I'm about to tell you. You're not going to believe me, right? Like, I know you're not going to believe me, but I want to tell you something. Minister Mthuli Ncube is actually like a gangster, okay? Like he's a gangster. I know you don't believe me. Like he's a gangster. Like you should see him walk. When he's walking, he's like like a gangster, but like a pimp type of gangster, like a slick gangster. Like one to bigger. So the guy is full of confidence. Like he's not the type of Minister Ncube would not lie to you that he likes you when he doesn't like you. He doesn't play that type of game. He gives it to you straight. And he had told me straight that he kind of likes kicking it with me. Now all of a sudden I'm fired. But I understood, and I want you to understand why I got fired. I didn't get fired because I'm not a nice guy. I didn't get fired because I stole anything. I didn't get fired because of a sex tape. I didn't get fired because you don't like me. I got fired for one reason and one reason alone. I got fired because Minister Mthuli Ncube actually realized that I am more efficient to you when I'm outside of his ministry. Because in the ministry, I am so limited. I am limited because I have to check this na permanent secretary George and George angadana direction yake minister vada kwavo ukukwada kwavo. Now that I'm outside, do you understand the things my eyes have seen? Now I can talk about it and not worry about getting fired. Remember, they were not really paying me money anyway. Now I can tell you some secrets about what's happening in this country because maziso angu aona wakamboda kuyo kuti kana watomboona something auchagona kuzonza kuna something kana wamboona munhu atokuratidza ma something ake wato professional yema something. So Queen B is very afraid of you. The only thing Queen B is afraid of, the only thing Queen B is afraid of is the people of Zimbabwe. Because the only people of Asiri Kujga, Queen B, the only people of Asiri Kujga, Huchi, What Queen Bee is you. So the only people who can take down Queen Bee is the Zimbabwean people. You don't have to like Lumumba. I don't need you to like me, but I need you to understand the only people who are going to be able to give Queen Bee a good night, halalala, is you. You want Queen Bee to go? You want to see money in your bank? You want to see your life getting good? You want to see political interference minimizing in politics? You. Not me, not Mutuli Ngube. Mutuli Ngube will fix the economy for you, but he's not going to be able to get rid of Queen Bee. Acha njenga zake Mutuli Ngube, but acha hakwa chete nekuti Maria Queen Bee kana yakubata iwa urambewe. Unzane kuti unongozoti baba chete. Queen Bee vanenge zano PF. Kuvamaka, kuvafarira, kusavada, kuvatuka, kuvanyomba. Queen Bee vanenge zano PF unongozosvika pakuti mudhara. Webata. Queen Bee vanongozokusvitsa paposition yekutaura kuti mudzara. So now that I'm on the outside, we can talk about a couple of things. But I also left some friends on the inside who are still going to be able to assist. Number one, businesses in this country are unable to trade because their foreign currency is being held hostage by the Reserve Bank. The minister knows this. The minister is going to deal with it. Watch what's going to happen in the next couple of days. The people in this country are looking for opportunities where they can go and grow their businesses, but they don't know where to find the money. There is a game plan. Anybody who wants to understand Mutuli Ngube, his game plan is called the TSP, Transitional Stabilization Program. TSP, listen to me. I know this is litigious, but this is good for you. You want to make money? Let me tell you how you make money over the next 6 months. I make good money. Really good money. I mean, and it's not even from Ministry of Finance. It's not even from the Reserve Bank. My money comes from... Funny, there's a B as well, but it's not Queen Bee, but there is a B. If you know, you know. Now, if you want to make money in Zimbabwe in the next 6 months, President Emerson Mnangagwa said he wants his presidency to be judged by how many millionaires he's going to make. Okay? So if you want to make money in the next 6 months, here's what's happening. Mutuli Ngube has announced his TSP. What does it talk about? Number one, for those who have big money. I'll go from big money to small money because I know others, like most people want to hear about big money. He's just allowed the privatization of state assets. Do you know a company called Tel One? If Tel One was put in private hands, it would thrive way more than it's thriving now. Do you know a company that is called NRZ in Janji? It will be doing much better. That's going to privatization. Do you know a company, ZBC needs to be privatized? You can't have ZBC. Inoramba chingweta unge TV yeku Boy Sky. Havinabasa kutukonera ZBC ku Borodeo, ku America, ku England, ku Mabvuku. ZBC inoramba ichingweta unge TV yeku Boy Sky all the time. Why? Because vanhu veku ZBC avasati vambona TV isiri yeku ZBC. Saka iwe unoti wakatarisa Judith Makwana uyo nemazino ake 2. Judith Makwana can't even pronounce her name. My name is Judith Makwana reporting for ZBC. The words will not come out. I'm not mocking her. She was born with 2 teeth and she's had 2 teeth ever since now. She's old and should have retired with her 2 teeth. All I'm saying is ZBC aisquita. Now, that has got to be privatized. So you want to make money, big money, you go and you look at those assets. Because if you've got capital and you inject capital in those assets, you're bound to make money. Now, there's those companies that like to do to feed the country. Dairy Board is one of the government assets. POSB, the bank, that's going to be privatized. National Building Society, that's going to be privatized. So programs, if you have ideas of how do you make sure you make houses available to most Zimbabweans, whether the ones in the diaspora or the ones locally, they've made that available through opening up the facility to sell off the asset of National Building Society. So if you've got big money, start thinking about that. If you've got middle money and you want to be a trader, the minister, effective today, cabinet has announced borders are now open. If you are in England and you are watching me, if you are watching me from England, Zimbabwe does not have medication right now. Insulin is hard to access right now. You can now import. So you are exporting, but we're importing your medical utensils or your medications to put in our hospitals. When you open the borders, that means we are never going to have a shortage. Watch what's going to happen this week. There will be no more shortages in the shops because they've allowed food to come in. Minister Mutuli Ngube is about this program. Muka dzakamtenderedza dzikuda kumudya iye. Minister Mutuli Ngube akasurroundwa nemuka. Robert Mugabe was better. He was surrounded by criminals. Emerson Mnangagwa is surrounded by bees who want to eat and go and feed Queen Bee. Mutuli Ngube is surrounded by animals. Muka dzinodya zvinhu zvinofema. So every time you guys attack him, understand this is the guy who's got the single best plan. But let me tell you the best part. Mutuli Ngube has put in his TSP a $400 million facility. $400 million facility to allow for financial inclusion. Young people, women, young farmers, small medium enterprises to be able to go and borrow from government for you to do your business. The single biggest handicap for business to grow in Zimbabwe is you can't find capital. You look for capital, you can't find it. Unouya uti naenda uyo nduda kuvura business rangu. Hopo wanzu unema title deeds here. Woti ndinomo wana kupe ambuya vangu iroja. Amai vangu iroja. Inindi irova. You can't find it. Some of you, you are 20, your father is 40, your father has never had a job, you have never had a job, so you don't even understand how you can possibly say we are in stop order. But you want to be able to go and borrow $20, buy my onion ako, go and sell my onion ako, be able to take your $22 back, make your profit, give them back their seed capital. You want to be able to do this, but in order to do this, that's what he calls financial inclusion. He's opened it. Zimbabweans, listen to me. I know we like to joke around, fool around, clown around, act a fool, but right now there is an opportunity for you to participate in a program that makes your life better. Look at me. I am wearing a tie. I am wearing a shirt. Okay, but either way, ndakachena ne hembe dzakanaga dzinenge dze Christmas. You can also do it. Ukaronga game rako rakanaka. There is a pain that we feel every time we go into a queue. I feel the pain. The pain of going into a queue for fuel. That pain is disappearing. The pain, banks are now being liberalized. Banks will be able to keep their own US dollars. Anybody who's been worried that US dollars are not coming, US dollars are coming now. You are going to have US dollars in the market. As long as we get rid of the thieves, the rest of the thieves at RBZ, I'm going to publish a list with all of the men who are stealing in RBZ. Every episode, we will take a government parastatal, you and me. If you know any parastatal where any stealing is happening, you tell me, I tell the world. Because we've now learned something. When we say it, they react because vano manya, vano kuchkai, vano kuchkai, vano kuchkai, vano kuchkai. That's why they're going to run. So let's make them run. The trouble is the president, remember I told you, some of the people who the president appointed, get something clear. Only the president was voted for to be president of the country. The vice president is appointed by the president, the two vice presidents. So the vice presidents should never in their wildest imaginations think they remotely have the same power as the president. But kunekamweya, kamweya, kanouya na Queen Bee, kanoti kanaka haka kumsoro kuya. Kumsoro kuya. We have captured. This country is captured. Captured by Queen Bee. And Queen Bee has found a way to capture all the way up. The only person Queen Bee hasn't yet captured is number one. Number two, I don't know. I'm not. You know, it's suspect. It's suspect. Because number two, ane asha magamona anogondikia. So number two capture. But I'm saying the only person I can vouch for that I know is not captured is number one. Number one is not captured. Vamwe vese nevakadzi vari captured imi kudzimba uku vakadzi vari kudya uchi hwaQueen Bee. Kune vakadzi vari kudya uchi hwaQueen Bee. Murume ari kudya uchi hwaQueen Bee. Queen Bee ari kudya mhuri yacho yese. Zvisinei. Because of this capture, President Emerson Mnangagwa then has this guy Mutuli Ngube, and I think if that synergy works well, they win. But You can choose to spend the next 5 years imagining and dreaming and tomfoolering yourself that you think Chamisa will find somehow wanna way kupina mupawa ne padumbu chibudane mkano. I'm how you think, but there's no way government is going to change. This is the government for the next 5 years. So either you get yourself ready to assist or you get out of the way. But either way, you want to get involved, find the TSP and figure out to yourself, how do you make money? Why can't we ask ourselves this as Zimbabweans? How do I make money in my own country? Do you not want to be genius? Don't you want? Don't you want to be genius, to be so, but with money? Don't you want that? Don't you want nice things? There is nothing wrong with wanting nice things. So I'm not mad at the minister for letting me go. I have no hard feelings at the minister for letting me go. I am collateral damage. I understand it. My job is to get in front of the firing squad and go and go and go and go. One day I hope you understand me and you don't judge me based on what you think you know about me, but you judge me on who I really am. In fact, I ask of you that before you judge me, why don't you go and you do it? Before you attack me, why don't you go and you do it? Queen Bee has got to fall. But more important than Queen Bee having to fall is Zimbabweans have to build Zimbabwe. I went to a farm site this morning, mid-morning, and there were these Chinese, and these Chinese, vakacheka munhu kana uchipusha bhara, vakacheka makumbo acho ebhara, saka kana uchipusha bhara, rinenge riri vhiri chete. And these guys were complaining to me, chef, I wasn't fired yet, so nandichiri chef. You know, in government, kana uri, ufamba na minister uri chef. Saka ndikunzi chef, boss, mabosanga, boso. Ndikufamba navo. And then they say, chef, China, they are cutting off the legs of these mabaras so that we get overworked. These Chinese are overworking us. So I went to this Chinaman. I said, hey, yo, Chinaman, come. Why are you doing this to the people? And the Chinese man said something so significant to me that I will remember it for the rest of my life. The Chinese man said, Lumumba, I don't understand your people. They're complaining. We're asking them to build their country. I thought, oh my God, in his head. And he's right. He's simply asking us to build our country. I no longer have the job that has to help the Ministry of Finance communicate what it is they're doing. But you know what job I want? I want the job to always make sure if there's anybody who is corrupt in this country, stealing from you, stealing from me, we are going to steal from them. If they do us, we're going to did it them. So if they do us, we're going to did it them. What did I say? If they do us, we are going to did it them. If they do us, we are going to did it them. So no one, we can't just have a country where you are stealing from us. Let me finally tell you how Queen Bee is going to go down. Okay, in fact, let me tell you a couple of events that are going to happen in the country. A couple of events that are coming up in the country. Number one, there's going to be no more queues. Number two, any business that has kept on operating in Zimbabwe in the last month under the harsh circumstances, in the last 20 days, under these harsh circumstances, well done. I know you took some losses because as the rates were fluctuating, you took some hits. But you made the absolute right choice because every country, whether it was Soviet Union going into Russia, whether it was apartheid South Africa going into New South Africa, whether it was Rhodesia going into Zimbabwe, there comes a point in every economy where there is a tipping point. Whether it was the Great Depression going into New America, there comes a point when you go into it, when you go past the tipping point and there are new millionaires that are made. This is that time. The problem is the president is surrounded by bees that want to steal using his name, take the nectar to Queen Bee so that Queen Bee can go on away. And how do we get rid of Queen Bee? Pay attention to me. I know everybody who goes to the Reserve Bank to try and get money, you face this. This is how we are going to get rid of Queen Bee. Listen. The way Queen Bee dies, the way any Queen Bee dies, is either it gets old or either it catches a disease. When it catches a disease, all the bees, they hug onto Queen Bee. Listen, they hug onto Queen Bee. When they hug onto Queen Bee, they call it the cuddle death. Kuti takubata tikakusunga tikakuti nasi ndichakuhaga mdzara ndichakubata kusvika ndapera iwewe uchipera mo. Wait. ndichakubata, yeah, we'll hold you, we'll squeeze you, we'll scream like, ah, you know, just like you scream like you're doing what now? Like you are lifting weights, like pampa my weights. And then you release good energy, like you cuddle. That's how Queen Bee goes. When the people of this country decide enough is enough, they will rise up against Queen Bee and they will take their estate back. I will tell you who Queen Bee is, but for now, please understand your role. We were able to get rid of RBZ. What we did with RBZ, let's do it with everyone who wants to do us. If they want to do us, we did it them. If they want to do us, we did it them. So our next target that I'm going to be posting up is, sorry, before I even do that, is everybody please keep writing to me. I've received so much good feedback of crime, literal crime taking place at the RBZ. So I'm going to be submitting it to the anti-corruption unit in the president's office who are running the audit there. When they carry out the audit at the Reserve Bank, we are going to get the shock of our lives. Shock of our lives. The only reason I think the RBZ hasn't fallen apart is John Mangujika. Now, if John Mangujika is corrupt, we are in way more trouble than we think. If John Mangujika kana ari kubao mari, kana ari sabauta, achibao mari, we're definitely in more trouble than we think. I will know very soon. But for now, Zimbabweans, I ask one thing of you. Don't worry too much about anything else except what are you doing to move this country forward? There is now opportunities available thanks to this new Minister of Finance. There is actually an opportunity for you to become a maverick in your own country. The minister is committed to meeting people. Organize yourselves. Go and meet him. Go and speak. Be proactive. People attack me for being proactive. They attack me for stepping up and saying, I'll do it. Go on, man. There is some of the most beautiful ideas and most beautiful brains in somebody who's watching me right now. There is somebody who's watching me. And you know that everybody's throwing little likes, little what. But in your head, you know that God gave you some smart ideas on how to solve Zimbabwean problems. You are watching me right now. And you know that in your head, there is an idea that can make this country better. But you sit with it in your head and you let it torment you. Oh no, Zimbabwe. Oh no. Take it. Try. Unogona kuitwa chairman we task force. Unogona kutodzingisa madirector kwenda kumba. Vakunditsvagawo madirector mashireya tsiri dzabata hadzo rekeni. But mukubata rekeni madzo imomo andikwatiswe zvekumhanya, andikwatiswe nemasaskamu. Hatidi zvekupiwa order nemasaskamu. I'm just asking you to play your part, okay? I'm nothing but a normal citizen. I lost my job today. Too bad. Mutuli is not captured. That man, I don't even know if you can capture him. And I don't know, is it because with any money or because you must be able to just eat money. But the man is so straight. The president is lucky to have him. Our country is captured. Our government is captured. And we'll be talking about how the captured file works. But as for today, I only wanted to tell you how I got fired. And that even though I got fired, it's okay. I've got a job to keep talking to you guys and keep making this work. So please find the Transitional Stabilization Program. It's on the internet. It's on the ministry website. No, they don't even have a website. Do you know how to make a website? Sell them the idea of making a website. Do you know how to make tires? Sell them the idea of how to make tires. So many opportunities for Zimbabweans to make it are in that plan. Be like the white people in Zimbabwe. Have you ever seen how white people in Zimbabwe behave? They kind of act like they don't really care about politics because when they wake up every morning, they just get on with their life. They get on with their life, with their businesses. They go to Kariba with their boats. And then you wonder what is wrong with them. No, they are not busy with what you and me are busy with. Be busy with the right things. Anyway, until next time, I'm no longer the chairman of the task force. Like I was really liking that. I mean, it came with a lot of really nice perks from some nice people. Good night, Zimbabwe.